Reports coming in all day on Monday that Iowa offensive coordinator Brian Ferentz will be dismissed following the current football season. Welcome to the Voice of College Football. We break down the game we all love each and every day with you. Best discussion, debate, and analysis. Please like the video and subscribe. I don't like to see anybody lose their job. Unless there's dishonesty or misconduct or just flat out laziness, I don't like to see anybody lose their job. If they're hardworking and industrious, I would like to see people stay employed. However, this had to happen. Brian Ferentz is not only underachieving, he has caused with his lack of productivity this Iowa offense to become the trademark of the program. Unfortunately, this is the trademark of this team right now. It's not the excellent defense. It's not the exceptional punting and special teams units. It's not even the record, the winning. Most people across the country that follow college football would be hard-pressed to determine or remember Iowa's record of 6-2 currently. What they do know is that the offense is atrocious. It's a laughing stock, and it's gotten to the point where action had to be taken. The standard for this offense is not top of the line, best in the industry, elite, prolific. No. It's not even average, marginal. It is just, let's stay out of the way, not make any mistakes, and allow the other two units on the field to get the job done and to win the games. And as long as we're winning, and then the excuse could be made that the offense can be deplorable, horrific, and awful. It's not even functional. It's been atrocious and for a long time. So there is the issue with recruiting decent players and not developing them and not giving them the structure, the development, the coaching, the mentoring, and then the play calling required to be competitive at this level against good competition in arguably the best conference in America. So what we've seen has existed for a long, long time. This is not a team that's in a slump offensively. This is a joke. They have been arguably the worst offense in America for years now. For the last 3 years in particular, ranking right near the bottom with unspeakable names in the group of five and otherwise, losing, awful, the worst programs in America right there along Iowa as the defense and the special teams continue to carry it. I thought about coming to this video with all sorts of masses of information and analytics and analysis and the statistical rankings each year. We just know that they're the worst. We've talked about them for years and years. We just know that they're the worst. I don't need to show them to you. Right now, Iowa ranks dead last in the nation, number 133 in total offense. And they have been in that vicinity forever. They averaged 256 yards per game last season. That was awful. And they've been able to even get worse than that by about 25 yards per game this season in 2023. They're coming off a loss to Minnesota that maybe shouldn't have been a loss because of lack of judgment from the officiating crew. However, what is also true is that they scored 10 points and their offense generated 15 yards of passing in the second half. They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't do anything. They had 120 yards of total offense against a marginal Minnesota team. And this is week after week after week after week. Of course, the classic example, the epitome of the lack of offensive play statistically, is in a 7-3 win. So as soon as I say the number 7 for a football fan, you think touchdown. No, they defeated South Dakota of the FCS to open the 2022 season 7-3 without scoring a touchdown, with the defense delivering a safety and then setting up the offense on negative yardage drives for the 2 field goals. So they won on 2 field goals and a safety, or 2 safeties and a field goal. 2 safeties and a field goal. 7 points by the defense. So the defense did everything. And that has come to be the mark of this Iowa situation, which again, if you ask the average college football fan or media person about Iowa football right now, this is what they know. This is what they think of Iowa being. It's not the exceptional special teams play or Torrey Taylor being the very best at what he does, punting the football, or great athletes on the defensive side like Cooper DeJean, and we saw what he pulled off before that touchdown was taken off the board in the punt return game, and then what he brings as an future NFL players, the defensive back, and the great defenses and the great players. That's all overshadowed by the national joke that the offense has been. It is so incredibly inept and bad that it looks, they are posting statistics. And again, this has been going on for years that look like 1970s football. We recite statistics every week on this Iowa football team that are just unthinkable to any other reputable program across the country. Iowa wins football games, and that's been the defense for this offense. Iowa does not win championships. This program has not won a Big Ten championship since 2002. So they don't win championships, and they could easily compete for championships with a marginal offense. So it's been unfair to the special teams and the defense, both from the standpoint of trying to win championships, but also based on reputation. Because the Iowa football team and its reputation right now nationally is about this deplorable offense. So this move had to be made because Iowa, for a 6-2 program team this year, a team that won 8 games in a bowl game last year, that went to the Big Ten championship game 2 years ago, they're known for having this laughing stock of an offense. That's what the program has become known for, and it's a shame to the hardworking players on both the offense and the defense and the special teams that contribute, because these offensive players also have not been developed. Not only is the play calling shoddy and without creativity and without form and function and continuity, it's also the lack of developing the offensive line, wide receiver play, running back play, quarterback play. These positions have not been developed to be as good as they can be. So those players have been shortchanged on the offensive side as well. Now to the contract that would provide a bonus if this offense, no, Mark, you're wrong. If this team scored 25 points per game this season. So let's understand, going into this football season, comparing it to the stats in 2022, that 25 points per game would be good for 91st in the nation. I've not looked at the current 2023 stats to see where that would rank, 25 points per game, after the team averaged 17.7 points per game. And I am emphasizing the team averaged 17.7 points per game because the defense scored 6 touchdowns by themselves. And that doesn't count all the touchdowns that are scored because of a result of the great defense and special teams play, both last season and this season. So that doesn't even account for that. The many times that the defense, because of a turnover or because of great field position set up by the defensive stop and the special teams and the punting prowess in flipping the field, put the offense in a situation where they couldn't help but score. So this was a mark, a goal, a stipulation in a contract that was set up not for the offense, but Brian Ferentz would be the beneficiary of it. But the defense and special teams contribute more to the scoring or as much as the offense does, which is unthinkable to any other program in the country. If you would bring up these offensive numbers to any football coach whose football programs rank in that same awful category of the bottom 10 statistical teams in America, and you ask them at a news conference, what do you need to do about the offense? You're ranked number 128 in the nation in offense and number 25 in yards per play, and you're 130th in passing, and you laid out all these numbers. For any football coach, you know what they would say? Yeah, we got to get better. We have to get better. That's not acceptable. That was never the answer given by Kirk Ferentz. It was always about, well, we're winning. Well, this is not good enough and won't be good enough going forward with Oregon, Washington, USC, and UCLA entering the Big Ten. The schedule is getting more difficult. You're going to see, in place of most likely some combination of Northwestern, Illinois, Purdue, and some others, Nebraska in recent years, you're going to see 2 of those gone and 2 of the West Coast teams on the schedule. It is becoming more difficult. We already saw Wisconsin make a move with Paul Christ who was winning over 70% of his games, winning division championships, going to Rose Bowl games, going to big-time bowl games. But there was a decline in the program in recent years. Wisconsin noticed that, recognized who was on the market, and went for it. This is maybe a smaller version of Iowa doing this, understanding not just the ineptitude of the current situation, but how that forbids their effectiveness and their ability to compete, not win. I'm not even talking about winning championships. I'm talking about survival, competing, being an upper division team in an 18-team conference that may be the best in college football starting in 2024. It had to be done. And of course, we will discuss it further, and we will talk about candidates for that position, of course. And there's a thought out there that there has to be a certain fit because you've got to get a conservative coach for Iowa because Iowa football is conservative. Does it have to be conservative? I know that there are personnel and talent limitations because of recruiting. They're not going to go out there and recruit like Georgia or Ohio State. That's understandable. But wouldn't it be more reticent? Wouldn't it be more necessary to get an offensive coordinator who's creative and who has ingenuity because you don't have the talent? Think about it from that standpoint. Appreciate you being here at the Voice of College Football. Realize that we're talking Iowa football each and every Tuesday over on the Hawkeyes channel, 5:30 Eastern, 4:30 Central, with our buddy Corey Bradda from the Hawkeye of the Storm. Get on over to his channel and all his coverage that he has on this Brian Ferentz dismissal and what's going on with Iowa football each and every day. And please join us, of course, and lock it in right here at the Voice of College Football.